public schools. So we are thankful for that. And our public advocate was right there leading the way and leading the conversation, because we want to make sure our New York City public school is the most diverse that we have in this nation, 1 million students, and we want to make sure that our Muslim students have the ability to observe their holiday as many others already do. And so we are thankful for the coalition and all of the members that were a part of it. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you for never giving up and always recognizing that we would prevail, because we did, and we're thankful for that. In addition, our public advocate has been working on a lot of issues around education, around, oh my goodness, she was very, very, very active in the universal lunch for middle schools, right, which is something that we started this year in the recently passed budget, and she was not giving up. We allocated $25 million for the universal free lunch, because we recognize, our public advocate recognized, that too many young people are going to school hungry, and they should not be in classrooms with a stomach that is aching of hunger. And universal free lunch has already been implemented, and we are thankful for that. Many of the coalition groups and organizations and advocates work very hard with the public advocate, because it was really important for us. We didn't have the Department of Ed on board at first, but they ultimately recognized it was important. And I'm really proud, because of the public advocate's leadership on universal free lunch, we were able to start this September with universal in-classroom breakfast at the elementary school level. So I'm thankful that because of Tish, she started the conversation and we continued, because there are too many young people, unfortunately, that are going to school hungry, and that is unacceptable. If we can provide the resources and the funding that is needed, then we will do that. So we're thankful for that. So, I mean, there are a number of other things that I certainly would love to talk about, but, you know, obviously this is meant to be very interactive and to get your feedback. But, you know, just know that our public advocate is truly, truly committed and dedicated to every community across this city. And tonight's town hall was really her commitment, her affirmation, recognizing the West African community, the work that you have done and the work that you are continuing to do. As leaders in our community, our public advocate wants to make sure that you know she's working on your behalf, reaching out to her office, making sure and understanding that her door is always open. She calls herself, she litigates, she legislates, and what else?
She agitates.
And she agitates, yes. And she has been doing that. And something that she recently did, and this relates to the unfortunate death of Eric Garner in Staten Island, she filed a case to obtain the records of the grand jury. And it got all the way to the state court of appeals, to the highest court in the state. And unfortunately, they ruled in favor and maintained the lower court's ruling in keeping those records sealed. And although it's a setback, I mean, I'm a firm believer every setback is preparation for a comeback. And I know that our public advocate will not give up on that case or any other case that comes before us in this city. So I'm truly thankful, and I hope I got everything that I was supposed to. But truly want to thank all of you for coming out this evening, and know that you have a powerful voice at the table, and we are here to help you. We're here to work with you. You represent all of our communities across the Bronx and the city, and we want to make sure that we empower our people. We enrich their lives, and we help to educate them. That is the only way that our community can truly be uplifted. There are too many families that don't believe in government, don't think that any of us are doing anything to help them, and that is simply not true. So we have to be those ambassadors to go out and spread the message of engagement, of empowerment, of enrichment, so that people understand that we're working on their behalf. So I encourage you to continue to be involved. Continue to let your voice be heard. Continue to come to forums such as this, Talking to Tish. and making sure that you know that we are here to help you. And as a side note, I also want to make mention that the 16th Council District has an African Leadership Council, and we encourage you to work with us and be a part of that. And certainly there are lots of different working groups and advisory councils, but please know that we stand with you, we will work with you, and we will continue to make great progress. Thank you so much for coming out this evening, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. And thank you once again to the Imam for the opportunity to be here at All Muslim Center. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, okay,
you know
sure.
What the council member didn't say before I get into what I had to say, she has been a fearless voice in the Public Safety Committee, which she chairs.
I forgot.
And, sometimes people don't like what she says or what she does, but she always says, I'm doing it for the people. So give her a big round of applause to personally express to you our gratitude for the kind of leadership that you have provided in this community and looking out for their interests. And we look forward to continuing the partnership. Now let me say a little bit of, can't you see talking to Tish that you actually talk to Tish's sister?
Yeah, that's right.
So, but on a very, very serious note, I have something that I want to say, because if I don't say this, then I'm not being honest. During the Ebola epidemic in this country, there was one public official that did not wait for me or the African leadership to reach out to her. Tish, my friend, pulled together a high-level meeting, wanted to know what she needed to do and what she had to do without us reaching out to her. And I am standing here as a living witness that through her intervention, the Security Council of the United Nations decided to pass a resolution for the whole world in order for the powers that be to help those struggling countries. She has said over and over and again that she is the public advocate for all the people in New York City. Today, this evening, I'm here to say, because I'm a little bit in government, sometimes inside government, outside government, now that has convened a citywide invitational meeting of African leaders to come and talk to her. So, I know there's a lot that's on your mind. I am going to shut up, but I will be remiss if I don't call perhaps a friend of mine, a leader who is always looking out for our health. And George, as you know, today is a sponsor of this event. And let me say something about George. Please, George, come up front quickly before we get into this thing. More employment opportunities for Africans in Health First than any other first that I know.
All right.
I know that when I was an advocate, I used to fight against these hospitals. I can't say it, but she used to pull me on the side and give my poor organization some money to fight for what is right. So, George, thank you. I let the cat out of the bag.
Be among friends. I see many, many old friends who I've worked very closely with. You know, we've done some special things at Health First in an attempt to better keep the West African community healthy. We worked with St. Barnabas, and there they set up a special day in which men would be serviced only by male doctors and clinicians, and certain days when only women would be serviced by female clinicians And then we did the same thing at Bronx Lebanon Hospital. And we did both of these because we have so many West African members and we have to be culturally sensitive. For those of you who don't know, Health First is a not-for-profit managed care plan. We're owned by the hospitals of this town. But although we're owned by the hospitals, we have 30,000 doctors and most of them are in the community. And being a not-for-profit managed care plan, we feel that good health is primarily clinical. And so we encourage you to go to the doctor, and we encourage you to join one of our health plans if you don't have one. But we know that good health is also being informed in education. And a forum like this, talk to Tish or talk to Vanessa, our councilwoman who is here. Most certainly is good education. I have traveled all over the city with Tish. We've done these at dozens of places all around the city. We've gone out to talk to Tish at things with NYCHA housing leadership. We've gone there with a broad assortment of people in an attempt like this to better educate. We'll continue to do that. Let me say this. I know many of our West Africans work as taxi drivers. I know many of them are uninsured. More of them would qualify for free insurance or very low-cost insurance, but they just don't know it. And so I say to you and your friends, when you speak to your friends, regardless of what they're doing, if they are street peddlers, and of course, street peddlers here, the first street peddlers that came who were West Africans were probably from Senegal, or probably Wolof. And they came here about 30 years ago, and they changed the landscape here in New York City. And now we have many, many taxi drivers who are from West Africa and doing a great job. But they often qualify for public health insurance. We insure 1 out of every 10 people who live in New York City. So we insure 1,200,000 people. Most of the people get free health insurance. If you are paying your taxes every day, when you go to the store, you pay taxes, you pay income tax. When you buy something, you pay tax. And if you qualify for free health insurance and you're not getting it, you're being cheated. Most of the people who we insure 1,200,000 people. Over 1 million of those people don't pay anything for their insurance. It's paid for by the state, it's paid for by the federal government. And so you might qualify for also. So I've got 2 people who are here, one's a male, one's a woman to talk to the woman, a man to talk to the men. An attempt to be culturally sensitive. If you have friends who are uninsured, if you're uninsured, if you have relatives who are uninsured, if you have any child, if a child comes here this morning and he's a Wolof from Senegal, or he's from Ghana, he's a Shanti from Ghana, or he's regardless of where he's from, he qualifies or she qualifies for public health insurance up to the age of 18, regardless of immigration status. And so we will continue to partner with you. Absolutely delighted to be here. Also, the councilwoman and I will have a clergy event, I believe next week, and maybe she'll mention that. But we do an awful lot with the clergywoman, and in her borough of 10456, we have 24,000 members. So it's very, very important for us to be good partners here. So thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
It's through his funding that we have some food. So we thank you, George, and Health First for providing that and for sponsoring this event. I just want to let you know that every time we call George, he never says no. So thank you, George. I know the public advocate loves you, and just thank you for being very supportive of our office. But before we continue, I did want to thank some folks that are here today, that without these folks, today would not have happened. Thank you to Sylvia Bello from the Cameroon American Council. Sylvia was really, she had meetings with us, and she said, listen, I want to work with you to create this event, and she helped out a lot. Juna Mekanda from Eric Event Burkina Faso community in New York. I want to thank you. We want to thank Yo Liswa Saleh from South African community in New York. We want to thank you for being here. Ronnie Johnson from Sierra Leone on stage.
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone. Thank you so much. And Pierre Fudo from Karam African Congressional Fellows Program. We also have from the Black Institute, Monica
Where there she is. Hey, Monica. Wow.
Thank you so much for being with us. So I want to turn it over to Sadiq so we can open up this discussion. That's right.
Colleague, Mr. Erhan Yildirim, who is the city, please stand up. If you are president of any organization, just stand up. Not for you to hear me speak, but to talk to my friend Tish. As you heard, a very brilliant, very articulate presentation from my other sister, who is Tish.
And I would like for you to address that issue. And also, what other services are your offices doing for businesses, small businesses, mom and pop businesses? Because we all know and we all have seen the revitalization that has come out of the African stores on Fulton Street in Brooklyn, as well as the ones here in the Bronx and the ones in Harlem.
My name is Musa Kuroma. I'm president of the Association Madeng and West African in this country. The reason that I'm asking to talk tonight is about my organization. The organization that I am representing we are almost